If you're a contractor or a home service business owner, you probably realize the importance of getting your business into that Google map listing. And one of the things you probably do is jump here on YouTube. You probably go on Google and try to figure out strategies, hacks, techniques to get your listing to show up higher on the search results. But one of the things all these people do not tell you is when it's all said and done, the way that Google map listing works, all Google's trying to do is figure out if you are one of the best providers of the actual service you provide in your local market. And I want to share with you guys exactly how I believe Google does that and filters out who it deems worthy to be showing up there at the top and who it deems worthy to push to the bottom. What up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Get Busy LLC, helping contractors and home service business owners understand this whole internet thing and getting their business out in front of the customers looking for the services they already provide. In this video, I want to talk about how you can get your business to the top of that Google map listing and what Google is actually looking for. And again, like I talk a lot in my videos, a lot of this is theory, but I do a lot of investigating to kind of prove my theories to be true. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I see so much information, so many videos, so much articles on how to get a business to show up in that Google map pack of the Google listings. And this is crucial to know because a lot of contractors and home service business owners have started to realize that it's very, very important to get your business into that map pack because that's where a lot of calls for leads will come from for their local services. One of the problems that I do see though is there's so much information. There's so many people trying to, how to say, hack the system. They're trying to manipulate Google. They're trying to figure out if there's ways to kind of like get around getting into that map listing. And from what I've seen from studying this stuff for hours and hours and hours, it's become pretty clear to me that the way this Google's algorithm for the map listing works, it works pretty much like its entire history of its search engine. You see, Google didn't get to, I think it's a multi-trillion dollar market cap company now. Didn't get to the top by half-assing what they do, which is to provide the end user with the best search results possible. That's how they got to the top. So even back in the beginning of its days, so if you were looking for like the stats of a particular Pokemon, if you were a Pokemon fan, you look that up and it's going to show you on the search results. If you're a fan of The Simpsons, like I am, and you wanted to look particular information on an episode, where did you go? You went to Google and the information was there. And it took it years to develop that reputation. And now what's happening with these map listings, what I theorize is that it's doing the same thing. It's trying to figure out how to filter out what it deems to be the best contractor in that specific region or location. And it's trying to figure out how to do that in the best way possible. Again, because the people of Google want customers to keep coming back to the search engine, especially on that phone. And why? Because they sell tons and tons of ad space at the top of those search results. So Google understands it still has to give its customers something organic, something real, or else they wouldn't come to that search engine. So as much as you want to hack the system, as much as you want to manipulate and do some kind of something that'll just push that listing all the way to the top and beat your competitors, it's not going to work that way. The great thing about you as a contractor and a home service business owner is that for you guys, it's not as competitive as, say, for example, like cosmetic surgery or law firms, injury attorneys, and things like that. That is unbelievably brutally competitive online. And for you guys, there's so many contractors don't even have the beginnings of a listing or a website or anything on there that you still have a massive advantage, but things will change in the future. So how does it judge how to place a business towards the top of those search results? For the best way for me to articulate this to you guys is bring it back to the human element, because at the end of the day, that's what Google's going to do, is trying to mimic that human element of what to place at the top of its search results for whatever search query anybody makes. And the best way to do that is to give you a real life example. For those of you guys that don't know, I used to drive a truck for a lot of years. And one of those stints I did was working at ABC Supply, which is a place that supplies roofers with all of their roofing supplies, shingles, materials, rolls. I mean, everything. And from me working there, there was three typical types of roofers in the market where I worked here. But I could place the three types of roofers into three different categories. There was number one, the best in the county, the best at putting on roofs, the best at everything. Then there was the middle tier. They were good guys. They didn't do as much work, but they were still good professional roofers out here in the area, and they still did a lot of work, and they kicked a lot of ass. And then there was the scragglers at the bottom, the guys that struggled to pay their bills. They did a lot of the work themselves. You see the crews change here and there. They didn't really have everything going on as compared to the guys at the top and even some of the middle guys. And the way that I remember that is because I remember the top guy that ended up purchasing the most for ABC that year usually got rewarded with some kind of fishing trip or something like that. And I remember the owner says, "Man, I don't even have time for it, but it's a pretty cool gesture." But the top guy, I remember, had a massive crew. This guy could whip out a roof in a day. He could go in there with his crew, tear out the entire roof, get all the trash, all the roofing supplies, and all that crap out of there. He had his own dump truck. We'd go out there and deliver his roofing supplies on that very same day. And by the afternoon, that roof was completely done. All the debris, all the trash, everything was cleaned up. So the homeowner would leave in the morning with an old roof. By the time he came home, he had a brand new roof on his house. And this guy did this all the time. And he was awesome at what he did. And then you had the mid-tier guys that would take a couple days to get that done. And then you had the lower tier guys that also did a good job, but it was more of a drawn out type of project for them. And I do remember specifically some of those lower tier guys would sometimes have difficult times paying for their supplies bill there at ABC, because there's times that we would see them pretty frequently, and all of a sudden we wouldn't see them for like 2 or 3 months. And the reason I would ask them, like, what happened to these roofers? And our sales department would tell us, hey man, they haven't paid their bills, so they haven't been with us for a while. So they'd go out to another supplier up in the northern part of their county, and they'd be working with them for 2 months until they caught up with their bills, and they would come back. But as a live person looking at all these roofers, I knew which roofers were the best, and it was pretty clear as day. Like I said, the top guy had his own dump truck. He had multiple trucks. He had logos on his trucks. He had a big crew. Everybody knew who he was in the county, in the community. So if you went out and got a roof from that guy, of course he's going to charge you a lot more, but you know you were going to get the best. And then you had the mid-tier guys that weren't as busy. They're still good at what they did. Some of them still had their supplies. They had their trucks, their logos. Some had those smaller crews. And then you got the low-tier guys. They have unmarked vehicles. They had different guys showing up to the job. They were not on par with the top guys and here in the county. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because this search engine of Google's, this map listing, the last thing it wants to do is have somebody have the ability to manipulate its system. So the last thing Google wants is for me, who live here, I live here in this county, to get on my phone and I look for a roofing contractor near me, and that guy with no crew, who's late on his bills, who takes 5 times as long to get a roof done, to show up as one of those top search results in the map listing. I call him, the guy shows up, and he's a terrible contractor that I actually turn away. And I'm upset because I found the guy on Google. That's the last thing in the world that search engine wants. What Google wants to do, it wants to provide the listing of that top roofer in that location so that I'm happy with the results and I keep coming back to the search engine. So no matter what tactics I do, no matter what tricks I pull up my sleeve, they may work for a while and get this business to show up in that map listing. But when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, what Google wants is the best contractor for that service in that location. And here's some of the ways that I think the search engine does that. The first thing it wants to know is if you even get the listing to begin with. Google provides these things for free, and I believe that Google starts to understand that it knows when a contractor takes that listing seriously. And how does it know that? Because the contractor will fill it out completely. Will put up as much pictures as he possibly can to showcase his work. He'll fill out all the forms. He'll fill out his service location. He'll put in the actual services he actually provides. He might even start placing posts on his business profile to show people some of the sales or some of the things that he offers. He probably has social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, a YouTube channel. He connects all of that to the Google business profile. Now, if I own Google and I see a contractor doing all that on his listing, that proves to me that he takes that listing seriously. So I'm going to favor him a lot more if he's doing that to begin with. The second thing I think Google's looking for is trying to see if this contractor or home service business is actually out there trying to promote his business. Is he actually taking place? He's trying to take action to get his business name out there, his business information, and get it out there. And how am I, the search engine, if I'm Google, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to start to look to see if he has a listing on Yelp. I'm going to go out there and see if he has a listing on like something like Nextdoor. I'm going to go see if he has a listing on Angie's Leads, on Home Advisor, on Networks, on Thumbtack, and things like that. What that tells me is that this guy's out there hustling, trying to make things happen, trying to get his name out there and trying to get more work. The more that the search engine sees of that, the more it's going to trust the business. He's like, you know what? This guy's out there really trying to make things happen, really trying to get things going. The third thing I think Google's looking at is the actual website of the contractor and the architecture and the design and the look and the optimization of the website that is connected to the listing that this business owner is trying to promote. You think all these eggheads at Google don't know when a business owner actually spends a good amount of money or a good amount of time designing a really well optimized website? Of course they do. So the search engine, I believe, is looking to see if the website specifically showcases to a potential customer that this business owner is providing, for example, roofing in San Luis Obispo, California, and the surrounding areas, and all the subcategories of that service, like repairs, tile, flat roof, gutter installation, and things like that. And it's looking to see if everything's structured correctly. An SEO optimized website is connected to that listing. A contractor trying to make things happen is going to spend the time, energy, and money to get something like that done. The fourth thing I think the search engine is looking for, this map listing, is looking at reviews. And it's looking to see if the reviews are coming from that geographical location. I strongly believe that Google understands when a review comes from a customer that's only 2 or 3 miles away, 5 miles away, 6 miles away, all the radius around it. It understands where those reviews are coming from, and it takes that to account. I strongly believe that Google's also looking for reviews on other websites. So if this contractor's like 10 reviews on Yelp, he's got 6 reviews on Home Advisor, he's got another 3 reviews on some networks website over here, he's got reviews on Thumbtack. What does it tell the search engine? It tells the search engine that this guy is doing great work. He's doing it all in this local region. So I'm going to take that into account to showcase that business in that Google map listing. The fifth thing I think the search engine is looking for, especially in this map listing, is looking for brand recognition. So let's say I have a roofing company. It's called Izzy's Roofing. People type in Izzy's Roofing in Paso Robles, Izzy's Roofing Repair, things like that. What that tells the search engine is that people know about my business name. They know about my brand, that they actually look me up by actual name. That means people saw my trucks. Maybe people saw a billboard. Maybe people saw a yard sign. Maybe people saw a coupon clipper where I advertised my business. So the name sounds familiar to them. So they actually look me up on Google. What that tells Google's search engine is that it knows that this business is real. People are actually looking for that business. And the sixth thing I think the search engine's looking for, the map listing again, is to see if I am participating, my business is participating in local events, local area websites, and things like that. If I'm out there, do I have a link in the Chamber of Commerce in the town where I do business? Do I have a link in the Chamber of Commerce in the town that I do business that's 6 miles up north? Do I have a link on the local paper that has a digital format so people can look at it online? Do I have an article written about roofing on a roofing type of website that's pointing back to my actual business and my website? Am I actually out there promoting my business? You see, those are the things that I think the search engine's looking for when it comes to ranking in that map listing. And I know there's so much stuff out there online, tactics and hacks and techniques that you could probably do to get things going. But as the years go by, that's what ultimately Google is going to look for. It wants proof that you are one of the best at providing that service in your local area. If you are not, it's not going to place you on there. And just like when I used to deliver roofing, I can clearly see, clear as day, who was the best and who was the worst. This search engine's sooner or later is going to start to figure that as well. And those are some of the ways that it's starting to look at businesses and determine which one is going to place in an exclusive 3-pack of the Google map listing. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys on this video. What I think Google's looking for, it's looking for the best. And if you are the best, all you have to do is prove it to it, and it will place you there in that map listing. So if you guys want help with any of that stuff, you guys are barely getting your start with your online journey for your business, and you guys want some help, some tips, I got some freebies here at the bottom of this video. You need help with any of my services, again, all the links are in the description below. And if you guys want to see how you guys could use Google to get yourself out in front of people that are maybe 20, 30, 40 miles away from your actual location. I created a video that explains that. You can check that video out right here. And that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time.